Hi, Dr. Ken Ferguson here from Oliver Chiropractic Wellness Clinic. Are you often challenged on what you're going to make for food the next day, for lunch, for school, for your children or your loved ones at home? Well, you know what? You're not alone. That's a common concern that we all have. And to help us solve that problem, we have our own in-house registered dietitian, Meg Oxen, joining us. Hi, Meg.
Hi.
So we know it can be a challenge to not only make food that is tasty for our family to eat, but we also want that food to be nutritious and high in nutritional content. So Meg is going to be sharing a blueberry muffin recipe with us with some substitutions. Now, before we get into that though, Meg, can you help us understand what may be some key concepts to consider when we are charged with making lunches and snacks on a near daily basis for our families and loved ones?
You bet. So what always comes to mind is involving your kids. And there's many different ways you can do that. And today I'm just going to focus on getting them involved in the planning. So sitting down and planning, what would you like for lunch this week? What kind of snacks would you like? And then involving them in the shopping. And in that part is one great way. And there's also, they can help make it, they can help pack it. But getting them involved in the front end there is quite helpful. They can make lists, they can see what's available in the fridge, in the pantry, and then just going to the store and having them choose different colors of the rainbow for fruits and veggies and a variety of other healthy foods that can help them nourish their way through the day. Yeah.
No, that's fantastic, because I think one of the biggest hurdles and challenges is the prep work, right? Coming up with the idea, actually physically going out and getting the groceries. I mean, even in today's day and age, you can order groceries online, but there's a physical task of doing it, right? So yeah, absolutely right. If you can help have your children and your family be involved in the planning stages, so it's not just falls on your shoulders to come up with good ideas that keeps everybody interested.
Totally, and then it's done with a lot more intention and mindfulness.
Yeah.
And by the nature of that, there will be more ideas, more variety, and anytime there's more variety, there's more nutrition. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get to the issue at hand here. Now, you have a blueberry muffin recipe.
Yes.
You know, blueberry muffin recipes are pretty typical, but you are going to be sharing your own substitutions, some filler ideas that people can consider, correct?
You bet.
All right. So before you get into that now, as you're listening to this, if there is ideas, please write them down. Share comments in the comment section below. And we're going to have this blueberry muffin recipe available on a link with this post. So without further ado, Meg, take it away.
You bet. Yes, so we're going to be talking about blueberry muffins today. And your typical blueberry muffin recipe, a muffin can be either like a cupcake, or it can be a wholesome, healthy, nutritious muffin that can be for breakfast or healthy snack.
Mm-hmm.
So basically a muffin can be dessert or like for breakfast. So I just took a standard blueberry muffin recipe that I found on the internet and looked at kind of the traditional ingredients, and then I made some modifications accordingly to add and enhance its nutritional value.
Great.
So starting with the flour, so your basic muffin recipe, white flour, we all know about white flour. It makes beautiful products, but it offers us very little nutrition and very little fiber. So if there's 2 cups of flour in a recipe, I just divide that in half and I use 1 cup of the white flour because it adds the lightness and the loftness. And if you're just starting out with the recipe substitutions, that's a good guideline to just keep 1 cup of white flour the same. And then I'll add a cup of whole grain flour. That could be whole wheat, that could be whole grain spelt, it could be some brown rice flour, it could be oatmeal, a variety of those. There's so many wonderful alternatives today. Quinoa flour, you name it, they're all available. And that contributes protein, minerals, vitamins, and fiber. And makes the muffin much more filling and wholesome and adds some different texture as well. Secondly, a basic muffin recipe will have anywhere from half a cup of sugar to a cup of sugar. And typically the sugar can be cut in half. That's quite a lot of sugar.
Yeah, that's a lot of sugar.
Yeah, so typically you can cut the sugar in half and then provide sweetener other ways by like adding some grated apple or adding some more blueberries. Yeah. This recipe only had a half cup of blueberries, so I doubled that and I put a cup in there to make it sweeter. And the blueberries offer such great nutritional value as well, and a lot of moisture. For the oil, an oil and recipe, this one called for a 1/3 cup of oil. That's not crazy. You'll find recipes with a 1/2 cup, 2/3, 3/4 of a cup.
Okay.
I tend to use canola oil. It's just a light oil. You can cut oil in a recipe by 1/3 to 1/2 as well. So I tend to half the oil, whatever that's called for, and then I'll add some buttermilk or some sour cream or some yogurt in that same proportion of whatever you took out from oil. So fill in the other half. You can also use applesauce. You can use grated apple, as I said earlier. Sometimes I'll use an extra egg to make up for some of the oil because that adds more protein back in as well and moisture. Yeah, so also typically there's milk in a recipe. That's all good. You can use whatever milk is available or that you like to use, cow's milk, almond milk, soy milk. And then also I will add in lemon and blueberry. I find it just a great combination. You can use grated orange, but I added some grated lemon to these muffins that I made yesterday. And you can also add nuts for texture, for more protein, for some crunch. So again, just have fun, get creative, and see what you have available in your house. And sometimes the best recipes or modifications are made by, let me see what I have, you know?
Yeah.
That's fun, and just being really resourceful too. Yeah.
Well,
So,
that sounds tasty. That sounds tasty. But I mean, I think it's important if we can find ways to modify and alter the typical sugar amounts in some of the bakings, right? Because I mean, that's typically calling for white sugar, and as you're suggesting, there's applesauce. You can grate up apples, adding more blueberries. These are all types of sugars that our bodies manage well, right? Versus the influx of white sugar. So I think that's probably one of the key things that sticks out to me when we're talking about muffins, right? When we're talking about this muffin recipe.
for sure. And what's important to keep in mind when you know you begin to experiment with recipes, it is an experiment. I mean, I've been doing this for 35 years, just ever since I was in high school. I love to bake and cook and just try new recipes, and I had so many failures. It takes so baking's an art and a science, but so don't be afraid. But taste and nutrition can go hand in hand. And there's so many ways to make it healthier, make it more interesting, and still have the quality there.
Yeah.
You will change the recipe. And everybody just has to do their own experimenting because we all have different tastes and preferences, but there's just a million ways you can contribute to your daily nourishment and to the health and well-being of your children's lunches and snacks.
Well, you know, failure can be, especially when we're talking about in any area of life, is good. It's the only way we learn. And if you're failing at baking, it could also probably taste pretty good too.
That's right. You can be happy. Yeah.
All right. Well, Meg, thank you very much for sharing that recipe. And again, Meg has shared a lot of options for substitutions for a typical blueberry muffin recipe. Check out the link associated with this post for the full recipe with suggestions for you to consider. And if you have some of your own substitutions for blueberry muffins or any other muffins for that fact, please share some of your ideas and help us all learn in the comment section below this video. Now, Meg, before we go, there are a lot of people out there who struggle with nutrition, who struggle with developing a dietary plan that works for them. You've just mentioned that, you know, you've been baking and experimenting with baking for 35 years. You've been in the field of nutrition for at least 25. Can you help some people understand some of the services that you offer and how you may be able to help them?
You bet. Yeah, so at Oliver Chiropractic, we do offer nutrition coaching and consulting services, and I provide one-on-one nutrition consultation. At this point, it's all via Zoom, which has worked out super amazingly well, and it's very convenient.
Yeah.
It's kind of from my living room to yours. We can talk over the kitchen table about food and your nutritional well-being. Yes, so it consists of nutritional assessments and provide nutrition plans, and my approach is very collaborative. So and very foodie. So if people really need help with menu planning, cooking, baking, just what we're talking about today, bring in some recipes and we could do some modification together.
Yeah.
Mindful eating, yeah, just a whole variety of topics relating to your health and well-being. So I enjoy traveling the wellness journey with people, and if you have any interest at all in nutrition support, you can contact the clinic at 70455-2112, and a list of all the services, nutrition services we offer is on the website as well at OCWC.ca.
All right. Well, again, I hope everyone here has enjoyed what Meg has shared with us today. Please stay tuned for future videos because we're going to keep going with this because there's a lot of information to share. And Meg is full of good ideas. I know this for a fact. So again, hope you found this information helpful. Like, share, leave comments below, and have a fantastic day. We'll see you again soon. Bye for now.
Bye.